Welcome to the Dynasty Citadel. My name is Terry. We're going to go ahead and get started with a one quarterback rookie mock draft. And it's going to be a little different. I think I'm going to do 2 rounds and just give my thoughts on what I think the draft board should be. Obviously, we're going to start off with Ashton Genty. He's going to be our first pick. Pretty easy, in my opinion. Most leagues, most if not all leagues, should go this route. Number 2 here. I'm going to go, and this isn't based on any landing spots right now, but I'm going to go on Ted McMillan. I personally think the talent here is just too much to pass up. So I'm going to go ahead and go Ted. 3, I'm going to go Omarion Hampton. I think he's the second best back in the class. And depending on where he goes, if he goes, people have projected going to the Broncos. Some people, even if he falls in the second round, it goes somewhere like Cleveland. Anywhere he really goes, he's going to be good to go. To be honest with you, so he'll be my second pick or second running back off the board. Here, I think I've come to a change of heart. I'm gonna go Travion Henderson. Travion, according to every metric I do, he's the second back, but I personally like Omarion Hampton better. Just a strong Omarion's a stronger back, but I know Travion, he can catch, and that expands his profile, and he's explosive. So if he can do those things in the league, plus if he goes somewhere again like Omarion Hampton, it depends on landing spot for these guys. I have a sneaky suspicion somebody is going to get picked in a bad landing spot like the Ravens, and it's going to mess up their capital. But I don't know if that might be a sneaky way to get somebody like get a pick in a rookie draft. And let me take this light off this camera because it's not working out for me. Let's see, who do I want to go? I have to look down on the screen. I don't know why I didn't put it close enough so I could see it. Let's see. At my 5th pick, I do like a Mecca, but I don't know if it's tight end premium. I'm actually taking Tyler Warren above, I think, Henderson. I would take him above Henderson, but if it's not tight end premium, I'm not going Luther Burden here. I don't think I'm going to Mecca. I really do need to take a look at this board and get an idea of where to kill, because I wouldn't go. I guess I would be going to Mecca here at 5. Yeah, I think, or I would go Quinshawn. It would depend on where Quinshawn goes, but I'm gonna keep saying it. I think a Mecca is a lot better than what we think. I think a Mecca probably has a better skill set just because he's been playing what we call generational talents, and Jeremiah Smith and Marvin Harrison, played with Chris Olave, played with Garrett Wilson. So I think Mecca has some good talent behind him, and we'll see once he gets in the league, because I'm thinking, according to, and this is not statistically based, but usually the receivers that put up good stats and play with other receivers tend to be pretty decent in the league. So that's just my thoughts behind it. Here, if we're not in a tight end premium league, I'm gonna go Quinshawn Judkins here. He should be solid. He could potentially be good depending on where he goes. Honestly, and I've said it before in other videos, him and Travion Henderson, I'm still trying to figure that out on where I would place them. But usually your boards are probably going to look like this. And then at 7, we're going to just keep the running back train going. I'm going to go Caleb Johnson here. That would be my 7th pick. I think his breakaway run percentage, when I went back and looked after my previous video, is actually a lot better than I thought. And he's a pretty sturdy back. So now the thing is, he's only had one great year of production, but I was looking at his freshman year, and it was actually pretty decent still, according to PFF anyway. So he's actually not necessarily the worst option. All these running backs, that's the thing. Depending on their capital, it could be some major hits. And even like Ashton Genty, for what it's worth, has the potential not to be the best back in the class, and that could be saying a lot. So we'll just see. We'll just see how time progresses. Obviously I think Ashton Genty is going to be amazing, but you never know what happens in the league. Here at the 1-8, this is where I start thinking. I'm not thinking quarterback, by the way. This is one quarterback league, so I'm not thinking quarterback. But I am starting to think about Travis Hunter. Trey Harris, I wouldn't take Trey Harris this high. Isaiah Bonds might not even make it in the draft. I like Cam, but I'm pretty sure other people aren't going to pick him as high, so I wouldn't even have to worry about that. Honestly, just looking at the talent, I think I'm going to go Tyler Warren here. Just looking at everything. And then right after that, I'm going to go Travis Hunter. And to get back on Tyler Warren, I believe, will be a great receiving back for PPR leagues. He might not necessarily be. It might not necessarily be a tight end premium, but still, I think he could be productive. Brock Bowers level, no, but people have been mentioning Dallas Goedert. I don't think he's necessarily Dallas Goedert, though. But I did see something where he is like Rob Gronkowski light. Of course, that perks up the ears when you hear that. I forget the other comparison I saw when I was just running some numbers. But Tyler Warren, I think, will be a beast in the NFL. Tight end breakout age, I don't think is necessarily comparable to, let's just say, the running back or wide receivers. And that's the bigger difference. So I think Tyler Warren will be fine in NFL. And my tight end, too, as well. Travis Hunter, the biggest conundrum in, I feel like, all of sports. He could be the wide receiver 1. He could wide receiver 2. He could be the best player in this class, just in general. Honestly, it just depends on if he plays wide receiver. If he plays wide receiver, he's good to go. If not, then it just depends on how much targets he gets. Because if he gets 5 targets a game, okay, he could probably be decent. But that's nothing compared to if he's getting 7 to 8 targets a game. Yeah, that's your upper echelon right there. I know some people and some others get like 10 targets. I forget who was getting 10 targets a game at one point in time. But yeah, it's nothing like that. But I think you would take a shot on him. I think anybody would. I'm trying to go back and see the Tyler Warren comparison I was looking at a couple days ago. Because I was looking up data and I'm like, wait, he could be what? And I remember it said Rob Gronkowski light, but it was the other comparisons that made me interested too. And then I was running some numbers, which I'm gonna have to go back again too, because it was saying Shadur was a lot better than what I was expecting, and it honestly threw me off. But no, okay, so it was saying T.J. Hawkinson would have been the comparable for right now, which I'm happy to have T.J. Hawkinson. And if, depending on where Warren goes, if he goes in that top 10, it's going to be easy. Yeah, it's the Christmas pick. Thank you. Here, I'm debating. I don't know if I go Luther. No, I don't go Luther because I want another player before I go Luther. I'm trying to see if I go any other running backs here. There are some running backs I like, but I believe I can get them later in the second. I wouldn't be too hard-pressed to actually go Cam Scatterbo here because he is, oh, man, I think personal favorite of mine, if I had to do like a personal favorite list, he'd be 3. But according to what everybody else saying, he always falls in the second round. So if you could scoop him up. Here, where is he? Cam? Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and take Cam right here. Because I think he could be a really good player for somebody. And people talk about that 40 time. Who cares? Who cares? Are you quick? Can you catch? Can you do everything else? Can you block? Now, I did see something on tape where it says you need to work on it. But if he is 5'10", 220, yeah, we can fix that. He just, as long as you put in effort. I think the effort thing is when people are looking at scouting to see if they're just missing blocks on purpose or what they're actually looking at. So, all right, let me look and see if there are any halfbacks I am missing right now. Ooh, there's one I like, but I'm pretty sure I can get him later. And I'm over here acting like I'm drafting against other people, which is hilarious. But I'll try to see if any wide receivers. I know there is one, and I'm about to take him here. Yeah. My next wide receiver that I will be taking will be Jaden Higgins. I like him a ton. And I don't think he pops up on Sleeper's list early. Yeah, he didn't pop up until later, too. That makes it even better. I hope even after the draft. But I have a suspicion he's going to go in that early second, or he might sneak into that first, similar to how Leggett and the San Francisco receiver, Pearsall, how they snuck into the back end of the first. So there's a shot that happens. And if that happens, it's just going to move. It's going to move his value all the way up. But I would get him here, and honestly, I wouldn't be too pressed to switch these two. And if Hunter doesn't declare as a wide receiver, I could move Higgins even up that far. All right, now Luther should go here. I'm just making sure I don't have any other running backs that I would prefer, but Luther I will keep in a one quarterback. People are probably like, what about Cam Ward? I'm not necessarily that high on Cam Ward. And then I over here looked up some analysis, and there's a metric that shows the Shadur with his accuracy actually, translates better than what Cam's does. But so I over here, I got to figure that out. And so I'm gonna wait on Cam. Cam probably will go. I gotta see. He'll probably go mid-second round if I had to take a guess. Devin Neal's not bad, but I don't think I'll take Devin Neal here in my personal ranking. There's gonna be a couple wide receivers that actually I take that I do like pretty early. But all right, let's go ahead and get Luther. Go ahead and get Luther out of here. Luther just scares me because he only plays out the slot. Yeah, if Luther played more than just slot receiver, I'd be fine. Because those profiles, sometimes they don't mesh too well. Yeah, especially if you don't know how to win on the outside. And I see everybody saying, yeah, no, he can play on the outside, but he really never did. And those receivers don't tend to do well in the NFL unless they're in a specific scheme. And everybody says, what about Ladd? Ladd played on the outside of Georgia. Amon-Ra played on the outside of USC. So, yeah, I truly, just from everything, just things that I've been looking up. The Colts receiver, I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now. Downs. Yeah, Downs, I'm trying to see if will be good because he looks like he should be good because he primarily plays slot at UNC. But Tez Walker was there, but Tez Walker I wouldn't say is a good receiver or anything like that. So I gotta see. I really because you would say, okay, what about Emeka? Emeka played with other good players, so I don't care. Technically, Luther didn't play with anybody. He played with Theo Weiss, and Theo Weiss, I believe, had better stats than him this year. But he still technically didn't play with anybody. So if that's the case, then I can't have Luther that high, and I can't have him above Higgins, in my personal opinion. And he'd probably be off my board. I won't have that much Luther burden unless he falls. He would have to fall a significant amount because there's other receivers that I personally like, but I still see his upside. So, but I would keep him there because I could potentially be wrong. Now, coming over here to the top of the second round, I think I might go. No, I won't. I will be going Colston Loveland, and I probably would have went Loveland there at the 12 if I forgot. I know it's not tight end premium, but still, it makes sense. You just gotta go with it. Excuse me. Over here got a cold. But yeah, I would go Coastal Loveland here. Seen his numbers at Michigan, and for him to have such a high percentage of his team's yards in even though it was a bad offense, I think it was spectacular personally. And I want to say Loveland might have been the one that was comped to Goddard. Yeah, he is. He's the one comped to Goddard, which isn't a bad comp, to be honest with you. And that's not. I wouldn't mind Dallas Goddard. Dallas Goddard probably was one of the top, if not top, tight end in his class. It's just that Warren's in this class, and Warren could potentially be a Gronkowski light. And if that's the case, I'm gonna have to take that all day. So, but I like Levin here. I will go Trey Harris here at my next pick. I think Trey Harris metrically is outstanding, and I know that people say separation scores, but PFF has him being able to beat man at they could graded him at 95 against man this year. So I honestly don't know. I did think Matt Hartman did definitely just came out with something. I forget. I'm trying to, let me see if and I was on it was on Twitter, and he had comped Trey Harris. I still have it up. Let's see. Because he did 3 new perceptions, and I just accidentally left it. But he had comped Trey Harris to somebody. I believe it was pretty decent, if I remember right. And it should pop up here, or maybe not. Nope, because we got quarterbacks now. That's fine. Yeah, but Trey Harris comped to somebody not that bad, and I'm like, oh, okay, we can do this. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, perception. Okay, this is probably just bad TV at this point, or bad YouTube. Yep, I can't find it. Of course I can. I just was looking at it. But Trey Harris was comped to somebody pretty decent. So I think it just depends on what offense he's in, honestly. He could be like Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice wasn't a blazing speed, even though Trey Harris is, I think, is like 6'2", 6'3". Rice is probably around that height. So yeah, it just depends on what offense he gets in. There's a lot of these guys, and I honestly don't think this receiver class is as bad. It might not have the superstar, even though I think Tet and Hunter could be, and Egbuka could be slept on. Even Higgins, so it might actually have the superstar. Actually, I have another receiver that I do like. He didn't play that many games this year because he got injured, but not Noel. Let me go to receiver. Royals. Yeah, Royals. When you start looking at the numbers and start breaking him down, you start realizing he's actually a better receiver than you thought. Strong guy. I think he's 6 foot 205, right? Let me see if they have it. Yeah, 6 foot 205. Now he did play like a weaker conference and whatnot, but honestly, that doesn't matter. If you have the skill set and you dominating the competition, you're doing what you're supposed to do. So I would take him there. And I know everybody right now is probably like, what about Matthew Golden? I don't like Matthew Golden. I think Matthew Golden got a hot stretch. He runs fast, and I don't know, those Texas receivers. I didn't really like them before the season, and I know that doesn't mean anything, but analytically they don't pop or anything. Yeah, at no point. At least when I was looking at Xavier Worthy's profile, he had a season where he popped, and so you see him in Kansas City, and you're like, well, it's only because of Rashee Rice, but still, you have to perform. If you get the opportunity, and Xavier Worthy has. Now, his following 2 years metrically or analytically, Xavier Worthy wasn't really anything at Texas, but could that be because of Quinn Ewers? Now, the only other thing that gives me pause with Quinn Ewers, because, man, whatever analytic thing I had pulled him up as the number 2 quarterback, and I was upset. And I was like, this can't be right. And look, I don't care what that thing says. And that's what was making me pause on Shedeur, because it told me Shedeur was 1, Quinn was 2, and it told me Cam was 3. So I'm like, this can't be right. So because if this is right, oh man, I'm about to have so many misses in this draft. Yeah, it just, for whatever reason, it had them 2 as like top guys, and like kept pointed Quinn Ewers like in like a Josh Allen comp, which is the worst comp I think I've heard. It was like a Josh Allen light, if I remember right. So, yeah, no, it was a terrible comp. Here, 1 quarterback. Let's go get Cam Ward out the way. I think he's going to be the 101. He should still score points at this point of the draft. Let's go ahead and get him. I know it's It's not the top quarterback draft class, but still, it's decent. So might as well go ahead. Not might as well. If you need a quarterback, get him here. If you don't, keep getting players. That's what I will say. Keep getting players. Does he have the highest upside? No. In my opinion, no. He does not have the highest upside. Does he have a decent upside? Yes. He has a strong arm. He put up numbers this year at Miami. Had been putting numbers up before. The only thing that gives me cause to pause and my metrics didn't like is that the air raid offense, I believe, was the thing it didn't like. And instead of lying to you, I can just read off what it didn't like about Cam Ward because I still don't understand this thing. I don't understand. It has Shadur number one, even though he doesn't run, but the CPOE was that completion percentage over expectation. Yeah, whatever for Shadur. I guess it's so high. It says the model forecast is a 90th percentile outcome based on it for Shadur, in which I don't understand. Okay, no, I'm wrong about Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers, Derek Carr, Matt Stafford. Okay, I can believe that. And it has Shadur, Dak, and Kirk Cousins. Wait a second. Somebody was Josh Allen. Who's Josh Allen? Oh, Cam Moore's Josh Allen. Why? It must be because of the accuracy. Yes, because of the accuracy. Yeah, but the thing is, Cam Moore doesn't run. Doesn't run like Josh Allen. Yeah, It doesn't run like Josh Allen at all. But I'd take Cam Moore here, especially if he's the one. I'm taking Cam Ward here. Matthew Golden. If he goes in the first round, do I take him here? Let me look for some other running backs first. Let's see. Forget that. Dylan Sampson. He's getting slept on something crazy right now. Him and Scatterbo. And I cannot allow that to happen. Dylan Sampson fall into the third round in drafts? Yeah, that's absolutely wrong. Let me see if there's any other running backs worth it before I take Matthew Golden. And I'm only taking Matthew Golden because I feel I have to. If I didn't have to, honestly, if it was me personally, I wouldn't take him. But I can't advise you to not take him. If he gets first round draft capital, I cannot advise you not to take him. But for me, I personally don't think he's going to be this good receiver. I just need to make sure. Oh, another guy. All right. Now, in no world, I don't think this guy goes in the top three rounds. It's Damian Martinez. But the thing is, he's 6 foot. I think he was at the combine 217, but he probably weighs around 225. But analytically, every metric on PFF says he's been good every year of his career. So for me, I'm going to take Damian Martinez here. I'm going to go ahead and scoop him up, and then I will go get Matthew Golden after that. Because I refuse to. Because the running backs are king. All they need is one shot, and then it could be their role forever. That's the thing. That's the true thing about running backs. So I'm gonna go ahead and take him here. Matthew Golden's the top receiver. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna reluctantly take him, and watch him be the best receiver in the class. I've seen comparisons. PFF comparison to him is Stephon Diggs, which I think. Wait, it wasn't Stephon Diggs, was it? Yeah, I think it is Stephon Diggs. Which, okay, that's some lofty expectations right there for a good old Stephon Diggs. I don't even know if a Stephon would say that. Yeah, shades of Stephon Diggs. So, we'll see. But I believe, I want to say Stephon in college played more slot. And when I looked it up at Maryland, yeah, I think he played more slot than anything. So, but yeah, we'll see. Because if he is Stephon Diggs, this is a big miss on my part. And then the reevaluation aspect comes in. Because that means if I missed on him, I probably missed on Isaiah Bond too. Because that just means both of them were really good receivers. And Quinn Ewers was the one messing them up. Or maybe both of them are bad receivers and Quinn Ewers is actually a good quarterback. Now, I seriously doubt that. Wholeheartedly. I'm just talking at this point. But let's see. Let's see if there's any other wide receivers I would take. I like Jack Besh. I think it just depends on what offense he gets into. Just trying to see. Elk Manor or Yomanor. I don't necessarily care for. Oh, let's see. I said but yeah, I probably would take him here, depending on where he goes. Let's go ahead. And I was watching. What was it? The whatever podcast Chev was on, but people were making fun of him taking Kyle Williams, and I'm over here looking like, hey man, that's not a bad pick. I don't know why you making fun of him. Kyle Williams has a chance to actually go day 2. Yeah, this is a good pick for the second round. Yeah, Kyle Williams. I'm looking at the stats. He plays out wide, which I like. Yards per route run this year 2.7. You know, good, not great for college. I'm saying that, but his contested catch rate 62.5%, and that's on 10 contested catches. I'd love to see that. And his grade versus man coverage was 89.8. That is what I like to see. I like to see that you're able to beat man. Now his drop rate kind of high, but don't really care too much about that. Now the only thing I do care about is that he's a senior this year when he broke out. Sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. From what I'm noticing, more times than not, if you're a junior, you break out, it's better. It just happens to be. I forget what the analytics are on it, but it's just better for the wide receiver. But it's not an infallible case. So I would take him here. I like Jalen Knoll as well. So I'll go ahead and squeeze him on right in here. Crazy thing is, Sleeper didn't even have him until recently, because I snuck him in one of my drafts because he was in the 2000s. And so I was able to sneak him on one of my Dynasty leagues that I drafted this summer. But played opposite. He does play slot, but he did play a good percentage out wide as well. I want to say, because Jalen Knowles up here, and he was still good last year. He had 820 yards last year, almost 1,200 this year. He does beat man. I would say 52% contested, 2.6 yards per run. I like, just reading off numbers, I like seeing that. And now he played the slot primarily, but he still had a good percentage of snaps out wide. I love seeing it. So that's the reason I'm taking him, even though he played in the slot. I can do with players that play both. It's the ones that primarily play slot that, which I guess technically he did. He played probably 75% of his snaps in the slot. But I will stick there. Let's go to running back. Let me see if I missed a running back or missed a receiver, because Jack Besh might be coming up here in a second. So hey, Isaac Tesla went up boards, didn't he? Hold on. I'm trying to decide if I want to take Devin Neal. It depends. Again, these running backs, sometimes it depends on where they go, but sometimes it doesn't. Oh yeah, these are the two: Devin Neal or DJ Giddens. These are going to be my 2 picks. And I'll just take them back to back here. We'll start off with Devin Neal, and then we'll go with Singletary. Not Singletary, Giddens. Sorry. Oh man, see, this is why you have boards, because I messed up. So running backs will in this draft. I will go ahead and say R.J. Harvey would have went ahead of Damian Martinez. I just missed him, and this is why you do mock drafts. This is a prime example why you do mock drafts. Let me go ahead and get DJ Giddens on here. So let me talk about all 3, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here. So with Devin Neal, he's been solid for the past 3 years. He's been solid to good. Everybody, other people watch tape better than I do, so I allow them and I listen. Everybody says he's just solid at everything. He's not an old guy, to be honest with you. Him and DJ Giddens are the same age. So even though he's a senior, I need people to understand. And that was the same thing with Marvin and Rome. They're basically the same age. They're like 4 months apart, even though one's a senior, one's a junior. But Devin Neal's the same age as DJ Giddens. I want to say he might be close to Ashton Jeanty. He's only 3 months older than Ashton Jeanty. Actually, he's younger than Omarion Hampton. So I need people to actually realize that he's not old. He's a senior, but he's not old at all. Yeah, he's just as young as the young guys. So Devin Neal probably actually needs to get some better looks. But so I have Devin Neal. Actually, I have RJ. I would have took RJ Harvey probably. I like RJ Harvey a lot. I might have taken him above Sampson or Ward. I like RJ Harvey a lot. Just analytically, I mean it, because analytically, everything says he's going to be a good back. Now he's older. I really don't care that he's older because he's 24 right now. From what I'm looking at, 5'9", 208. Runs a 4.4. In 4 years, he'll be 28. So I don't care. He's going to get taken in top. Either he'll be a day 2 or day 3 pick. I'm hoping a day 2 pick because everything. When I tell you everything, every metric I pull up says he's going to be a good running back, and I think he is too. So I am high on RJ Harvey. I'm actually if I'm able to take him this late in the draft, I would consider myself lucky. I would consider myself lucky to get him here. DJ Giddens, he's another junior. I like him. I like him a lot. He didn't necessarily have the best year analytically this year, but I know he can catch, which I do like. He's yards after contact is good. He's fairly elusive. So I do like that when I'm just looking at the analytics. But he was actually better just analytically the first 2 years. So that's my 2-round mock right now. Ashton Genty, Ted McMillan, Omarion Hampton, Travion Henderson, Emeka Ibuka, Quinshon Judkins, Caleb Johnson, Tyler Warren, Travis Hunter, Cam Scatterbo, Jaden Higgins, Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, Trey Harris, Jalen Royals, Cam Ward, Dylan Sampson, Damian Martinez, Golden. Yeah, I don't even want to say his whole name, but Matthew Golden. Oh man, I think it's Kyle Williams, right? Ooh, Lord, I probably should learn these people's names. I just know them off the draft. We'll keep going. Jalen Noel, Devin Neal, RJ Harvey, and DJ Giddens. But yeah, right now that's probably my top 24, but we'll see because it could change. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment who you think is a good pick. If there are picks you do not like, or if you feel like there's somebody I'm too high or too low on, like Luther Burden or Matthew Golden, let me know. But other than that, thank you for watching, and this is the Dynasty Citadel.